Warning, the Psycho Platter show may not entirely be for the faint of heart, especially in the last 10 minutes of the Munchkin orgy scene. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead. Hey, you know what? Thanks for coming by. Only low budget here, ladies and gentlemen. Only low budget. We can't afford the real guests, so we end up having our very own. Yes, that's a Saturday Night Dead. Saturday Night Dead, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for stopping by. Anyways. Oh, you just never know what stupid crap's going to happen here. Always powered by coffee each and every time. That is a promise from the mighty Psycho to you. I can't do that good old Grand Funk finger. You know how they used to have that in the 70s? That logo would be just like this in the middle of it. I thank the one person watching right now. Listen, you know what? I know it's going to be tough. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck. No, that's not it. But WrestleMania weekend going right now, you know? Right? Hey, Jerry, did you ever watch WrestleMania? Well, not really, but I heard The Undertaker was good. Rest in peace. All right. So the thing is that WrestleMania weekend going on. In case you're wondering, or maybe you're not, Austin Theory beat John Cena. There, I just killed that one for you. Oh boy. Anyways, so I want to welcome everybody, of course. Thought I'd pull out the good old classic Care Bear curtain. That's right. We like to do that once in a while. Why? Because it reminds me of the late wife, and I'm hokey. What can I say about all of this? We went off and I was watching Richard the Music Maniac's broadcast not too long ago. That seemed to be okay, right? Right. I want to go off and mention new subscribers to the Psycho Network. That's right, new subscribers. Mary Jane Blahnik, Near Wild Heaven, and Eddie, I hope I'm going to pronounce this right, Yes, Zaguire. I hope I got that right. I hate it when I butcher people's names. Oh, man. So anyways, I hope everybody out there is doing well. I want to go off and talk to you guys about something that's kind of been, what do we say, near and dear to Psycho's cold, dead heart, ladies and gentlemen. A series that I only started maybe a few weeks ago, but a lot of positive comments, except one. We'll talk about that in a second. But Jukebox from Hell. Jukebox from Hell is a series that I started a few weeks ago in regards to albums that were critically panned or the fans didn't like them. They maybe didn't do too well on the charts. There's a lot of people that have come out into my Jukebox from Hell on the comments of the videos, and in private chats, I've had people go off and say to me, Psycho, you know, thank you for tackling these albums. You know, the Osmonds and the Beach Boys so far appear to be the ones that were polarizing. They really, really are. The Van Halen one, not so much. Remember, kids, not Gary Sharon's fault. We already talked about that. But what we have currently right now, speaking of, like I said, the Osmonds, this is the new episode. Episode 4 is Osmond's The Plan. That's right. Osmond's 1973 album. And then episode 5, we are going to be tackling into the 1980 album, Peter Criss's Out of Control. That's right. This is an original Casablanca. Here's the front. Here's the back. We're going to be talking more about that upcoming later in the week in Jukebox from Hell. That's right. So if you have not seen any of the 4 episodes so far, when you've got time, go check them out. They're about 10 to 15 minutes long in length. Okay, so let's see. I do kind of want to be a little serious for a second, if that's all right with you. So for part of the country last night, or excuse me, yesterday afternoonish to maybe the early hours of this morning, there was a major tornado system that came through. It started out roughly about the northeast corner of Texas, swung all the way up into Chicagoland, near my neck of the woods. So last night in Belvidere, Illinois, and you Northern Illinois people are going to know what I'm talking about, although I know USA Today reported on this story, and of course the local Chicago channels like Channel 32 and the Rockford television stations brought up about the unfortunate occurrence that happened in Belvidere, Illinois last night. And this is music related. That's the reason why I'm bringing this up to the gang here, you know, because I think you guys need to know this. So and I used to live a hop, skip, and a jump from Belvidere, Illinois, okay? And in downtown Belvidere, Illinois, they had this old theater called the Apollo Theater. Now, they went off and they remodeled it to make it look actually pretty decent. I set foot in there once, and I got to see some of it, and it was really, really wonderful what they did. But at the Apollo Theater, which was actually more known for having concerts than being an old movie theater, last night, the Apollo Theater had the band Morbid Angel. Yes, a very, very heavy metal band, if you will. And Morbid Angel performed, or should I say, the show was going on. There was opening acts. But here's what happened. So, according to thank you very much, Grant's a good egg. He's a good guy. I'm telling you, Grant, you've been doing some really good episodes. But also, though, I sometimes think that we are telepathic. And what I mean by that is about that Tubes Love Bomb episode that you did. That I, of course, chimed in because you do great stuff, you and your panel. But that was going to be my episode 6 of Jukebox from Hell. But I'm going to push that off because I don't want to look like a copycat. Seriously, literally, it was in my stack for Love Bomb. Yes, and I love the Tubes. I still say that the A&M era was the best era they ever had, even though I love the Capitol stuff. So back to this, though. All right. So Morbid Angel played last night, or they were scheduled to perform last night in Belvidere, Illinois, at the Apollo Theater. There was a couple local acts. Now, I don't know when the doors opened. I want to say around 6, but I could be completely wrong on this. So at 7:20 something, the tornado sirens went off in Belvidere. All right. So 7:20 something, the tornado sirens went off. By 7:50, it tore the roof off of the Apollo, and in fact, killed 1 person and injured 28 concert goers. That was the last statistic I checked. That was about around noon. It still was like that. There is video footage. It is not pleasant. There was about 260 people were there to see the show for Morbid Angel and the opening acts. I am asking for prayers out here in the VC to those people in Belvidere, Illinois, that were at the Apollo Theater last night. They said they're not classifying it as a tornado, but 90-mile-an-hour winds. That's what it was, 90-mile-an-hour winds. And in one of the videos, you can look straight up because where the ceiling collapsed was literally in the front of the stage. Literally. It's scary. It's not Station Nightclub scary, but it's still scary. Okay. So prayers to the people that got injured in the Apollo Theater disaster, if you will. Okay. All right. We're done with that little bit. Oh, and thanks, Jimmy. I know my Godfather impression is bad, but I'm low budget. Always have, always will. Always have and always will. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a poor psycho. I go with what I've got. I go with what I got. And by the way, there might be a teensy weensy lag, it appears. Oh, look at you, Scott Dog. Hi, Paul. I was a kid in Rockford in the late 60s when Belvedere was hit by a tornado. It was really, really bad back then. Saw the aftermath. Scott, was that the tornado of 67? Because I know about that somewhat. My mom and my grandmother lived in Crystal Lake, Illinois, okay? And they told me the stories because, boy, oh boy, did Crystal Lake get it back then. Yeah, damn near a tornado. I could have sworn I thought I heard something about your area too. I mean, if New Palestine, Ohio wasn't bad enough, then you guys were going to get that. Yes, once again, thank you to everybody. Just continue prayers, guys, okay? I mean, when stuff like this happens, nobody sees it coming, okay? And obviously the people inside the building wasn't going to be able to hear it because the tornado sirens were going off. The concert was going off. And by the way, I should throw this out there. Thank you to the Belvedere, the fire department and the paramedics, which is 2 blocks away from that venue. The response time was incredible. I will say that because it could have been a lot worse on that. Yeah. Oh boy. You know, down here in Northwest Arkansas at my work, there was power outages, okay? And it turns out that for parts of the grid, even going 2 to 3 miles away were affected yesterday. Our winds were about 25 miles an hour, though. They were supposed to be 35 miles an hour today, but I didn't see that. So that was pretty much it for the notes on everybody here. I thought I'd come on up. Me and Jerry. Don't you got to go trucking? Oh boy, yeah. You know what? I got to tell you a little story about this Jerry Garcia doll. Okay, so there's a personal reason as to why I have Jerry here. Okay, my late sister Sarah, she passed away January 31st, 2009. What do I want to say? Lost her battle with depression, if you will. Okay. And I remember when she got this, and well, she loved the Dead too. The Dead was one of the few common groups that we liked, but she was more of a Annie DeFranco. Oh, geez. Oh boy, Annie DeFranco. My mind's not really with it today, guys. It hasn't been a bad day, but it's kind of been long in the tooth, if you will. You know, between juggling with kids and by the way, I did not get a chance to tell you guys, my new grandson was born Thursday morning. Makes my 9th grandchild to enter to the world, and his name is Theodore. But to me, he'll be Teddy Grahams for the rest of his life. Even when he's like a teenager, he'll be like, "Oh, Papa, don't call me Teddy Grahams." It's going to happen because I like Teddy Grahams. And so he was born. There was a little touch and go, I thought. But it turned out he came out fine. And I thank the prayer chains in the VC and where I live here, too, for that. If you guys could say a prayer for my girlfriend Carol, that would be grateful to me. She does have some medical appointments scheduled. I have a sneaky feeling, I mean, this is not official, but I have a sneaky feeling there'll probably be some tests being done. That's right, baseball team. And you know who's going to be the real good one? Adeline, my granddaughter, is going to be the killer pitcher. That's what she's going to be. Adeline is Adeline's fearless. Boy, oh boy, she's fearless. She'll climb up on things. You know, she goes to, what do you want to call it? The indoor trampoline places? Oh yeah. She even is like the new, when she gets to be like 15, 16 years from now, she'll be the female Alice Cooper, because I have a picture of her with a snake around her neck and she loves it. I'm like, there we go. There we go. But yeah, you know, so we, it's been a week. That's not a bad thing, by the way, but it has been a week. That's for sure. We've got about 2 weeks from now, where I get to go to my GP, my general practitioner. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have lost some weight. I'm trying. I've been cutting my carbs. I pretty much cut soda out, 98%. Okay. I had one 12-ounce can in 3 months, and I had a little bit, like a half of a Taco Bell cup this week. So most of the time it's powered by coffee each and every time, and trying. I mean, I still get the urges for things, but I've been trying to keep it down, at least until I get weighed on the 14th. And then hopefully they're like, okay, fat ass, you lost enough weight. Now you can get your total knee replacement, which would be the next step for this guy to hopefully be leaving Walmart. In June, it'll be 16 years, you know. That's, for some, they say that's a career. It's not a career, this guy. You know what? I'll tell you something, truthfully, guys. And I'm just throwing this out there, and I know I'm yapping a lot today, okay? But it is my show, and I'm allowed. But I want to leave something here for you guys. You know, up until a couple months ago, I was in a depression. I was in not a total dark space. I wasn't at the bottom. I was maybe in the middle of the bottom. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of things have changed. Okay. And I'll throw this out there for a second. I am a Christian. I'm a crummy Christian, you know. Yeah, we all pretty much are, really. And what I mean by that is we're all flawed. Humanity is flawed. To err is human, right? But my belief has strengthened on the inside and out. I have wonderful family, wonderful friends like you guys out there. I call you my friends because you are. You guys have been there for me. These broadcasts have been therapy, if you will, for me to keep pushing, in the words of REO Speedwagon, to keep pushing on. Yeah, I can't sing either. But between my family and you guys and the new love of my life, Carol, it's okay. I have learned something in the last few months. Okay? Try not to go for the super stellar days. Okay? They're very rare and in between, but when you get them, treasure them. And try to not have crap days. I know sometimes it's out of your control, but try not to have crappy days. It's okay to have okay days. I've realized that at almost 56 years old. I love REO, except I'll tell you something, Grant. Neil Doherty's gone. That was the last original member. The last original member in that band. Now you've got Kevin Cronin, and you know what? I'll tell you something. Gary Richrath got screwed in '89, okay? I think, you know, with Gratzer retiring and then Gary, you know, I know it just wasn't right. It wasn't right. Yeah, see, and eventually, yeah, there's probably going to be a Jukebox from Hell episode on REO too. But, excuse me, I dropped a link if anybody would care. I'm going to do maybe about hour and a half. I always try for that. Anybody want to see some CD finds? I showed the vinyl finds in the last episode, okay? But I did end up finding a CD honey hole. I said CD honey hole. So once again, for the Illinois people, you guys are going to know who this band is. I do. And, you know, this band started out as fragments of other bands, aka the Bees, which used to be the Boys from Illinois. You get a member from there. You've got members from others. Okay. I'm talking about Holland. Wake Up the Neighborhood. Now, Holland originally did an album in 1985 on Atlantic Records called Little Monsters. Excellent record. Excellent. If you do not know who Holland is, go listen to it on YouTube. All right. You will walk away loving that record. We did in Chicagoland. They were the current kings, if you will. They used to play the Thirsty Whale in River Grove, Illinois. Yes, Thirsty Whale. I only was there twice, the Thirsty Whale. I miss those days in the 80s and 90s where you had all your hair metal bands, local, regional, and national, popping through the Thirsty Whale. And Holland was there. So was the Bees back then. This, by the way, this is from 1999. This is some of the demos from Little Monsters and some unreleased. And this is, of course, produced by Michael Baccio, a.k.a. Michelangelo, who was in the band. God, my head hurts. Nitro. Yeah, he was the guitar player with the four-neck guitar, if you remember that video. So yeah, so go check this out. Wake Up the Neighborhood. We got some Beatle-related stuff, solo Beatle-related stuff, if you will. You know what's kind of funny is after getting the deluxe edition, reasonably priced, of Flowers in the Dirt from McCartney, I said to myself, I needed to find the other half to some of the collaboration that was on Flowers in the Dirt, otherwise known as Elvis Costello's Spike. Now, I might have had this on cassette many years ago, but I'm glad I got it. Okay. You've got Veronica on here, which was the big hit from, McCartney and Elvis here. Of course, when it would come on the radio, I would change it to Veronica. Anyways. So yeah, it was produced by Elvis Costello and T-Bone Burnett. There's a name you don't hear too much. You really don't. And by the way, the people at Beatle Fest, I hope everything's going the way you want it to. I know Joe ended up finding some finds. But yeah, so I mean, not only do you have, McCartney on here, but you've got several different members of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And you got, of course, Jim Keltner, Session Extraordinaire. Jerry Sheff, of course, who worked with Elvis. He's on here. And just all kinds of fun. Yes. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else out of the ordinary. Not really seeing much here. But still, I'm glad to have this. I can't wait to give this a spin on here. Oh, Jerry Marotta, he's on here too, playing drums. That's cool. Yep, T-Bone Burnett on trigger bass. That's nice. So you got a whole bunch of different fun people on here. You do. And, but yeah, so Spike from Elvis Costello. Now, this next one, I just happened to trip on it, literally, I am one of those weirdos that, you know, for not just for vinyl, but for CD, I'm always looking at the credits to see who's on something. See, I did not know that they put a 2 CD set out, Grant. I almost would like to get that. I really, really would. So this next one from 1990, Jim Horn's Work It Out on Warner Brothers. Now, Jim Horn, of course, another session extraordinaire, right? Jim Horn was around for quite some time. But I have to tell you who's on this album in 1990. See, there's him looking all serious with his sax. See, Horn, whatever. Okay, so we've got people. George Harrison's on this. Yes, you get a Beatle. There is a Beatle on this. So's Jeff Lynne from ELO and Traveling Wilburys. That's right. So you got a couple of Wilburys right there. Jeff Porcaro from Toto. He's on here. Oh boy, do I need my glasses. There's a couple Muscle Shoals boys that are on here too. And just all kinds of fun. Okay, Steve Lukather, he's on here too. Oh, Joe Williams, who of course was singer for Toto. So you got half the Toto gang is on this record. Yeah, David Hungate. Oh, this is cool. So yeah, you might as well just about call it a Toto record, like a Toto side project with Jim Horn and a couple in a Beatle, and you get and Tom Petty. So yeah, you got. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's very, very cool. Yeah, definitely. Such fun on this. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else. Oh, Steve Cropper. He's on here too. So, yes, go seek out Jim Horn's Work It Out. I love stuff like this. I loved it. And by the way, those were $1 a piece. Those CDs were $1 a piece. Could not pass that up for $1 a piece. Now, here's some other stuff that was not $1 a piece, but it's okay because I'll be going back to the well. This came from the CD Honey Hole. And look, Richard, which I spoke of shortly ago, Richard the Music Maniac, he was on his, he did a short show, him and Vinyl Dale. So, what did I get at the Honey Hole? Nah. Photograph the very best of Ringo. That's right, everybody. And as a bonus track, you've got his original version of the Goldfinger theme. Now, see, that's a joke. If you've never seen that, go see that on YouTube. Just type in Ringo Goldfinger theme, and you'll get a good 90 seconds of goofiness. Anyways, so you've got your Apple stuff. You've got just about all the eras pretty much up until like 2000. Yeah. So you get some Ringo right here. That's right, everybody. Well, you'll have to watch the rest. I'm okay for today. I may, oh boy, whatever, Richard. You know what? There's always going to be enemies. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As everybody knows in the BC, you got to be thick-skinned. You have to be thick-skinned if you're going to be doing on-air stuff. Take it from a guy who was bullied in grade school, okay? I was. Gee, no surprise there, right? Well, not really. I didn't ask you, Jerry Garcia. All right. These next two, though, I was looking for. Believe it or not, in my head. And this one here is a little side joke that Beans and I used to have. Remember Beans? Rest in peace, Beans. I love you. I love you, my BC brother from another mother. I miss him every day. I really do. But we used to go off and talked about Bev Bevan. If you remember, it used to be, let's see, it'd be me, and Beans and Ethan, if you remember Ethan and his channel, and once in a while Tim Allen would join in. Well, I found both of these CDs, and it kind of surprised me. So from 1991, Electric Light Orchestra Part 2 on Scotty Brothers, that's right. And you know what? The single, there was a single that came off of here, Honest Men, only went to number 60. Should have been a top 30 at least. Don't know why it languished at 60. Maybe Jeff Lynne had something to do with it. But the story goes is that, you know, Bev owned 50% of the ELO name. He don't anymore. He sold it in 2000. But at that time in 1988, he went to Jeff Lynne and went off and said, hey, mate, let's do another ELO album. Well, Jeff Lynne, of course, was doing his solo stuff, producing things. He was in the Wilburys. He's like, nah, I know you kind of touched a little on that in your broadcast, didn't you? And so basically, Jeff Lynne wasn't interested, but Bev, you know, had another idea. He goes, hey, can I do this? And he goes, yes, if I get I think it was 10% of the Ha Ha record profits. That was the deal. And so that was in 88 going into 89. 89 ELO Part 2 get born, per se. You end up having 4 total ELO original era members, okay? Bev tried to get Roy Wood involved originally in 89, but Roy passed. Roy passed on it. And also, before this album was recorded, John Payne, who would end up basically in his version of Asia, so not John Wetton, but John Payne, would work with Jeff Downes and Carl Palmer and a little bit Steve Howe. But John Payne almost became the singer. But John Payne was going to go to Asia, and he goes, hey, I got a buddy of mine named Eric Troyer. So Eric Troyer ends up being one of there's several lead singers. Pete Haycock is another one, and Pete Haycock came from the Climax Blues Band. So he was in here for a while. So this is the first album. And then I've never seen a copy of the 1994 Moment of Truth. Now, I told you they were on Scotty Brothers in 91. Now you're looking at Curb EDEL, Curb Edel label. This is a US press, and this didn't chart at all. Supposedly there was some music videos made, but I haven't heard a lick of this, and I'm curious to hear it. Once again, with Bev Bevan. Oh boy. Rest in peace, Beans. But that's the CD finds for this week anyway. I kind of had to cool it financially because my taxes are due. Taxes. It's just me, by the way. Nobody else lives with me. It gets to be financially hard. I said hard to deal with things sometimes, you know? I don't know if you guys out there in the VC have felt the same way. There was one album I was looking into for Record Store Day, but my buddy over at Block Street Records in Fayetteville, Arkansas, there's his quick plug, told me he wouldn't know what he's getting until the week of Record Store Day. I guess he says that's always the way it's been for him. So I don't know, considering that what I want is a double album, I'm guessing what, between 40 and 50, and I'm just like, ugh. I don't know. I may have to just pass on it. Either that or I have some record store friends in New York that maybe I could try to find the album, because they're only making like 4,500 copies worldwide. And I'm just like, I kind of want this. I know half of the reason why I want it is because of the cover. The other half is because there's 5 unreleased demos. We're talking about Eric Carr's Rockology is what we're talking. So, and I think the demos go back to like 80, 87. So 87 to 91 demos that Eric did. And I think Bruce Kulick is on some of it. So, you know, and, you know, and pardon me for going and moving off here for a second to Kiss. You know, okay, you Kiss fans out there are maybe going to understand what I'm talking about. I love Kiss, okay? Or at least I used to. All right, I used to. The last album I bought brand new from them was Psycho Circus. Yeah, that's 98. Okay. So I supported their endeavors from 1976 to 98. I bought every album that they came out with. And then after that farewell tour, kind of slightly soured me because, you know, with Ace and Peter getting booted out, whether it was their fault or not, I don't, you know, sure, I think it's everybody's fault. You know, most bands are not perfect. Most bands are dysfunctional, at least in a minor way. But they're a band of musical brothers in themselves. And, you know, everyone's going to always love that 70s lineup of Gene, Paul, Ace, Peter. I mean, come on. Let's face it. If you're a Kiss fan, that's what you like. And the whole piss comment, which I'm like, Paul shouldn't have said it anyway. He loves to stir the shit pot. But now I'm wondering, since somebody started the shit pot stirring, I want to see what Ace's little information on Paul's going to be now. See, we all live for the gossip, don't we? We love the VC drama as long as it doesn't involve us, and we love it when other people stir the shit pot as long as we don't have to lick the spoon. I know, that was kind of gross, wasn't it? But that's my analogy, and I'm sticking with it. So I feel kind of stupid here. Is somebody got a major broadcast going on right now, or is it just because it's a Saturday night and it's a Saturday night and I ain't got no one? I know, that's something else, right? So let me ask you guys, what stinker albums do you think I should do for Jukebox from Hell? I mean, like I said, I've got these ones here. Peter Criss is Out of Control is next. I already have episode 6 kind of lined up, maybe episode 7. But after that, I could really use some ideas. So if you don't know now, leave something in the comments. Hello there. Hello there, sir. How are you? We're here. This seems to be kind of a half-dead show today. I guess that's okay. Can't always have winners, right? Can't always have winners. But I just, you know, like I said, I wanted to be on for a little while anyway. And just see how everybody was doing. But yeah, as far as for Record Store Day, like I said, I only am interested in one title. That's it. It was just like, what was it, a couple Record Store Days past. The only things I was interested in was the Monkees Missing Link Volume 2 and 3. Because I already had, oh yeah, that's right, baseball is back. Cubs won opening day. I was happy about that. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. There is going to be a Who. There will be a Who coming up in Jukebox from Hell. But is it going to be that or something else? It's a good possibility. And like I said, I like the CD and the vinyl bit. Oh, there you go. Come on, Red Sox. The Green Monster. Oh, what? I don't know. What's the, oh, what? I don't know. You tell me. But yeah, so I know I'm crazy. Nobody's got to tell me I'm crazy. I've always been left of center, even before I started doing these live streams. Anybody that has seen my channel in the last 12 years knows that I am abnormal. That is for sure. Exactly, exactly. I will say though, John, that I'm still glad. Okay, well, I'm not a big fan of Sonic Poop. That's what I call Sonic Boom. Not a big fan of Sonic Poop. Monster's okay, but I don't know. They gotta have a couple decent songs left, I hope. You know what? There's a lot of bands that are like that, sir. That are a lot like that. And here's another thing just to throw out there, okay? Not that this may or may not have affected the performance of that album, but I remember reading in several different Who biographies, and I even think Pete Townsend wrote it in his book, that between Face Dances and It's Hard is when he got sober. He no longer did the coke. He, I think he even quit the drinking, or he really like tampered it down. And you know, when you're used to having this lifestyle for years, and then you get sober, your train of thought gets changed on a different track, or derailed, maybe, if you will. I still say It's Hard would have been a strong EP. Okay, you know, you get Athena and Eminence Front, and maybe two more songs, and make an EP out of it. Although I will say, see, that would have been cool. Okay, so Townsend, this is the story I heard. All right, now I was trying to be nice to the Who, okay? I was. But most was a terrible album. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to tell you, because what's going to happen is, Grant, you're going to put it in your next stream. Oh, Grant, I'll tell you something. I love Face Dances. Okay. We all are musical armchair quarterbacks, okay? But Face Dances would have been a perfect album if they would have replaced one song. I am not a big fan of how can you do it alone. If they would have replaced that song with I Like Nightmares, which is an extra track on the deluxe, that would have been the perfect Who album, at least for Face Dances. The perfect Who album, in my opinion, of course, is Who's Next. All right, fine. You know what? Yes, that's the one I want to do. But don't do it for a while, Grant, because that's coming up. Seriously though, guys, go check out Grant's. He does lots of good videos, but that Love Bomb panel he had, I love the Tubes. The 70s stuff was the best in my opinion. Although I do like Completion Backward Principle. Outside Inside, I like most of it. Love Bomb is just, I mean, there's a couple good songs off of there, but some of it is just a little bit difficult. And we also talked about Sean Cassidy's Wasp album. If you don't know what that is, go look that up. Yeah, I didn't know about the deluxe edition either until I tripped on it on, oh, geez, I don't know what music selling website. Yes, I do too, actually. Found it at a nursing home garage sale, Mike. Go figure. I said, boy, some old senior was awesome. I know you do. See, now, Grant, it's none of my business. You must have a lot more time on your hands than me. Now, I'm going to be 56, so I'm still got a few years in the working game. But, and if it wasn't for, having a lot busy in my life, maybe I would. I'm not. I don't know. I guess anything. I don't mean to insult you, Grant. That's far from it. You have to have excellent time management skills, is what I'm getting at. Because my life, even though I make it sound like it's chaotic, it's just some things like today. I unexpectedly, I thought I was going to have half the day today to sort of do what I needed to do, but two of my kids called me within minutes, and well, I had to drop what I was doing, and that's fine. I'm not complaining about it. I'd rather be needed. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to see the Who in '71. You know what? I'd like to be on somehow on panel for WASP. Except, for the life of me, I don't know what happened to my copy. I don't think I have it anymore. I wonder if I gave it. See, I've given my friend, my bestie, Donna Jo Cat Lady, who's on YouTube here. I can't remember if I gave her WASP. I don't know. I may have to ask. Well, once again, I know we've had this discussion, okay? And I get what you're saying, okay? But for me, my favorite era of Kiss probably would be the first album to Lick It Up. Seriously. And then after that, there was a couple good songs here and there, although Animalize and, oh boy, whatever. Yeah, see, there you go. I do too. Thank God I didn't pay full price. I got it at Best Buy with the. Oh, that's fine. Thank you for the potential invite when we get down there. Hopefully, I can find my copy of that by then. Because, I mean, okay, so we'll just mention here, guys, if you're bored, go on YouTube and listen to Sean Cassidy's Wasp. It was his last album, and this is true because they brought this up in Grant's stream. It was Sean Cassidy's last album contract fulfillment for Warner Brothers. 1980, you're talking. And it's basically Todd producing it and Utopia backing Sean. But I really would like to know who the hell thought that Sean should have been singing Rebel Rebel. That's probably one of the biggest stinkers on that damn thing. I was already in my 20s when Kiss first came out, and they seemed, well, yeah, of course they were. I think they tried to take themselves seriously, but when you end up on what was that show? They ended up on a kids show to introduce Eric Carr. Was it Kids Are People 2? I think they were on Kids Are People 2. That's right, with live from Lyons, France, if I remember correctly. And I was a Kiss fan even through. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you something. Okay, so you bring up Mike Douglas. I used to watch that show when I was a kid. Okay, so it was either the Mike Douglas show or the Paul Lynde Halloween special is how I got introduced to Kiss. I cannot remember which, but I want to say that. Oh, all right. Well. That I would have loved to have seen. So, John, okay, so when you saw that tour, give me a second. Was Glenn Hughes still in the 7-Star Tour, or was it Ray Gillen by then? Because I know that I think Glenn only was at the first 7 or 8 tour dates. So I don't remember, but I like 7-Star. 7-Star was a cool album, okay? Even though it really shouldn't have been a Black Sabbath album. It was Warner Brothers that pushed the Black Sabbath name. That's why you've got Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi. But I like that record. I think my favorite track off of 7-Star still is Angry Heart. I love that song. Okay, so see, you got to see Ray Gillen anyway, and that's still cool. Now I'm trying to think here. Wasn't he on the Eternal Idol album, or was Tony Martin already in there by then? Because I know Ray. I think Ray got fired. That's it. And Tony is on the Eternal Idol album. Tony Martin, I think. Let me know in the comments. Yeah. I love it when Gene goes off and he's like, I am the Demon Prince incarnate. And Tony Fields, this old Jewish comedian, goes, I bet you're a nice Jew from the Bronx. Which, of course, I love Gene's look when she says that. I couldn't stand Tony Fields, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was comic gold there for those two. Oh, man. I'll tell you. But I would have loved to have seen the Wasp Sabbath show. That would have been cool. Now, I don't know why I never got to see Sab. And I kicked myself for not getting to go to those Ozfests. All right. I should have. I really, really should have. And I still really think that before something really, really bad happens, because I guess Ozzy's talking about going out there on tour, even if he has to sit on a Prince of Darkness throne. I don't. They need to do the final Sabbath gig right. They need to do it correctly with Bill Ward. They need to have all four. And they need to go off and supposedly they recorded Scary Dreams in 2001 in the studio. I've heard it live because they played it on part of the Ozfest. But Scary Dreams needs to come out. And I am also led to believe there was one other song that the original four for Sabbath recorded, but it's in the vault. I remember Tony Fields on Merv Griffin sitting next to Arthur Treacher. Oh, my God, Arthur Treacher. Sitting down, they were the same height. Standing up, he was 2 foot tall. I liked Arthur Treacher's fish and chips, but I couldn't eat it. It was something in the batter that would make me, a kid, sick. Maybe it was the grease. Ray Gillen did the album. It's out on YouTube, but Tony Martin ended up on the actual album. Ray went to Badlands, which... that was an excellent band. I have that first record. I think it was a damn good record, honestly. I don't have the second album. I'm still looking for that. I think that only came out on CD, if I remember correctly. And then I think somewhere they found demos for a third. I don't know if I'm right on that. Yeah, I just remember that it was like either really greasy but it like, for an 8-9-year-old kid, it really screwed up my stomach. But we had an Arthur Treacher's in Crystal Lake, Illinois, that after Arthur Treacher's shut down, it turned into an Arby's. Go figure. We have the beats. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of Tony Martin era Black Sabbath, though, I am led to believe that all of those albums are getting a treatment. I don't know if it's a remastered deluxe treatment or what have you. I like Tony Martin. I thought he was a very competent singer, to say the least. I liked Headless Cross. I liked Tear. There is an album that will come out in the Jukebox from Hell for Sabbath down the line. I ain't telling you what it is. You probably figure it out in the long run. Anyways, So will you excuse me for a minute while I get some coffee, and we'll talk maybe a few more minutes, and we'll then, if nobody comes on, we'll just wrap this up shortly. But hang on, I want some more power. All right. I have a friend named Tony Martin. I never knew there was a famous one besides the singer and the Marcus. Well, you're right, because what was he on? Columbia Records, Tony Martin, right? Back in the days of '78. That's another little story. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but there is a local possibility. Hopefully soon, like, I don't know, maybe after Easter, but I don't want to hold my breath, that I could possibly be looking at hundreds of 78s, some of them in original record company boxes. I saw photographs of Columbia and RCA Victor boxes. I don't know what's going to be in these things. I have no clue. But I hope I can get to do that. Because I do still collect them. I'll have to look at that in a little bit. Oh, so I forgot to tell you something here. Donna Joe Cat Lady just dropped me a message. Remember the honey hole for the CDs? I found another CD, and you Canadian people up there might appreciate this one. So there was, I don't know who watches Steven Crowder, but there's a show, it's a show on podcast. And he uses the song Men Are Strange Animals from Gowan, the group Gowan, which is really Lawrence Gowan and his band. Lawrence Gowan being a Scottish Canadian who in the 80s and 90s was semi-popular in Canada. Well, Donna Joe Cat Lady said that if I ever found a Gowan album or CD with the song, that particular song, that she would love to have it. So 2 hours later from that request on text, at the honey hole I went to, I don't have it to show you because I gave it to her already, was a 1997 Best of Gowan. And I'm like, who the hell finds this stuff? Also, Beatle related. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. I saw and took a picture of this. This was in the shop that I visited. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Bear with me. Pardon the glare. But what it is, it was a framed 24 karat gold record of Ringo's Stop and Smell the Roses from 1981. And the little plaque says, in recognition of selling 1 million copies. Now, they only wanted $200 for it. And don't get me wrong, it's nice looking. But there was no RIAA plate, if you will, because I've seen those before. Maybe if it was half that price, sure, I would have pulled the trigger. Because like I said, it's not an official gold record. It's not, I can tell. But whoever lovingly did this, it was really nice because I do love that album. But yeah, so finding that best of Gowan was, I could not believe I saw that. My grandmother had dozens of 78s. I never knew what happened to them. I fear one of the kids to, yeah, that's easy to do. The last 78 that I found, which was maybe about 6 to 8 weeks ago, I found a small pile. I said pile. In a resale shop in Northwest Arkansas, and there was a okay condition Ivory Joe Hunter on Atlantic. I only paid $1 for it, so I couldn't pass that up. Well, I know about the raspberries. Had a scratch and sniff, and it smelled like the raspberries. Some things in life we like that are scratch and sniff. Some things in life we don't want to scratch and sniff. You guys be the judge. But you know, so yeah, you just never know what you're gonna find. You never know. You never know. That's all I can say about that. I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about this exactly. Oh God, I heard about that. I heard about those. The other one that makes me nervous, didn't Kentucky Fried Chicken do like candles of 11 herbs and spices? That makes me nervous. I know that there is boxes of fire starter logs that supposedly smell like the 11 herbs and spices. I'm like, yeah. Ask me the last time I ate anything from the Colonel. I'm going to say a couple of years. That's the last time, and I didn't care for it. Now, saying that, you know, me, even though I have lost some weight, I still like good junk food. Because I got excited about a news a couple weeks ago. Probably. So the town I live in here, Rogers, Arkansas, we are getting a Jack in the Box. It is the first one to ever grace the state of Arkansas, ever. I didn't realize that Jack in the Box was never here. This will help because I like Jack in the Box. My favorite, the sourdough Jack. The tacos are damn good. And when I used to go through to the Jack in the Box in Troy, Illinois, I used to get the antenna toppers. I'd get them for me and my friends. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Ron Haggerty, ladies and gentlemen. Ron, so, you know, I'm just going to mention this since you're up here and you love metal. This guy really loves his metal. He does. He loves metal. He loves Jesus. I do too. So, Ron, if you want, you may have to rewind back to early part of the episode here after I'm done. But up in Belvedere, Illinois last night, there's a theater called the Apollo in Belvedere, Illinois, and they were hosting a concert by Morbid Angel. And I don't remember the opening bands, but the concert, from what I'm led to believe, maybe was only 30 to 45 minutes in. And 90-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm going to say it's a tornado, even though Rockford didn't get a tornado, but Belvedere got a brief tornado. The whole roof collapsed. There was 260 people in that place. One died, 28 injured, last time I heard, at the Morbid Angel. I don't do Morbid Angel anymore, okay. Oh, I think he'd dig Striper. Striper, Blood Good. Let's see, what's some other ones? Guardian. Yeah, very much. Very, very much. There is video footage. You could literally see to the sky. Somebody pointed it up on the roof, and of course the roof's gone. The roof collapsed literally in front of the stage. So whoever was, I'm going to guess and say like in that 20 feet, it went, and that was, yeah. There you go. Bride, Guardian, Deliverance. I've heard of Bride. I've heard of Guardian, of course. Deliverance, you got me on. I never heard that one. Well, you know what? Okay, listen. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's the message in the music. That's what it is. But I liked Striper. I still like Striper, okay? They were like my first Christian metal band. I don't have too many Christian metal bands, to be honest. And I saw them in '86. Armored Saint, of all people, opened for them. Armored Saint, they dropped F-bombs all over the place because after about 4 numbers, the kids were going, we want Striper, we want Striper. Well, yeah, I just don't think they should have. That was it was May of '86. So whatever album they were touring, John Bush was the singer, if I remember correctly, who of course would go to Anthrax after Joey Belladonna would be gone. The guitar player died, didn't he, after that album and tour? I think I'm right, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I mean, he was just dropping F-bombs. John Bush was. I think it was John Bush was dropping the F-bombs. And they basically, after like 6 songs, left the stage and like gave most of the audience a middle finger. I'm just like, how delightful. Oh boy, I'm staying out of that one. Yeah, I'm staying out of that. Yeah. Now, I don't want no sparring here. I love lots of music, and Christian is part of the genre too. Now, my favorite Christian rock band. Now, I can't really get into the Christian pop, if you will, from the 90s on to today. I can't deal with it. If I'm going to listen to Christian rock, it's going to be 70s and 80s for me mostly. I got to see Petra. Petra's my favorite Christian rock band. Okay? And I am not ashamed to tell you that the Coloring song makes me cry every time I hear it. It's something in it that just touches my heart and makes me bawl like a baby. I'll admit it to you. Okay? So Petra opened for Servant, okay, at a high school in Mundelein, Illinois in 1981. And you know what? They were, even though they were throwing the F-bombs, they're like, the people that came here to meet us, we're going to be at the stage door signing autographs, taking pictures with you. At least they were nice to the Armored Saint fans, but they didn't, I don't know. Ron is an okay guy. He is. He's awesome. And by the way, Ron, if it's okay with me asking, well, continue prayers of healing to your wife. I hope everything's going well on that front. So, but yeah. And you know what? You, sir, are correct. And like I said this before, I'm a crummy Christian. Now, what I mean by that is, of course, I'm a Christian with faults. All of us Christians have faults, all right? And I will admit this. I currently do not go to church. I used to go to church, and I loved going to church. I went to church for the right reasons, okay? What are those right reasons? The reason why you should be compelled to go to church if you are a Christian, or if you're Jewish for a synagogue, or any of those other religions, You go to your faith-based house of worship because you want your soul recharged. Okay? You want your soul recharged and you need a message of affirmation. Okay? That's what I think. And unfortunately, I haven't found any down here. Okay? I just haven't. Awesome. That is very awesome. That's true. That is absolutely correct. I'm telling you. Anyways, like I said, it's my show. I can go off and say and do what I want within reason. Okay. So, but back to, like I said, with the whole, so Stryper and Petra and all those other bands. I got to see Phil Keaggy. Oh, Phil Keaggy. Whether you're into Christian music or not, Phil Keaggy, okay, is a wonderful guitar player. He originally started out in a band out of Ohio called Glass Harp, okay? And one of the members of Glass Harp actually ended up in the Michael Stanley band too. But Glass Harp, if I remember correctly, the story goes, Glass Harp ended up on Decca Records. They did 2 or 3 albums. Joe Walsh saw Glass Harp, and it was Joe Walsh that helped to get Glass Harp to be recognized. So I think, good for Joe. I'm glad. Joe seems to be a really nice guy. I would love to hang with Joe, even for a few minutes someday. It would be awesome. I still remember when it was, what was it, Joe Walsh for president, Bozo the Clown for vice president, or maybe it was the other way around. I remember that campaign. Shortly after the Eagles broke up in '80. I always thought that was funny. But yeah, so let's see. I saw Phil Keaggy, Larry Norman, rest in peace. He was another one. It made you think. I like music, no matter what genre it is, that makes you think. Now, I'm not talking about overly political, mind you, but even, I guess, as long as the message is easy to understand and you are speaking or performing it in the heart or spirit that you're trying to convey in your song. Am I making any sense? I don't know. I could be just babbling on and on and on and on and on. Oh, good. Good. You know what? They needed to, or they're going to, excuse me. Nice tribute for the CMT tomorrow night. Okay. Yeah, pretty much to me, in my opinion, of course, that really put the nail in the coffin for Skynyrd. But I mean, I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did. And yes, I know they're still out there, but I'm not going to that. I didn't even go the last couple of tours. I could have got free tickets. I didn't go. Because to me, I'm like, why do I want to go see a tribute band? Yes, Gary was there, and Ricky Medlock too. That was just my attitude at the time. Well, thanks. Like I said, I'm always a little off, a little left of center. It's just how it is. But okay, guys, you know what? I'm just about running out of gas. I gotta get up for work early, sort of in the morning. But like I said, for backpedaling for a second, check out the new Jukebox from Hell if you haven't. Osmond's The Plan from 1973, which was a concept album about the plan of salvation, which is an important part of the Mormon faith. What did I say about it? Go look and you'll see. You might be pleasantly surprised. And then, of course, Peter Criss's second solo album, first one not under the Kiss banner, from September 1980, Out of Control, will be the new episode that we'll be posting Friday morning. It'll be released Friday morning. And after that, who knows? I don't know. We'll see. And Oh, see, there you go. Whatever works, I say. You're welcome, guys. You're so welcome. I love being able to be here when I can with you guys. I'm sorry. I want, like I said, I want to thank everybody here in the Peanut Gallery. We had it up to about a dozen people, and that's perfectly fine. I know there's other people that are busy. I just try to put the shows on when I can put them on for all you guys. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, always powered by coffee each and every time. Jerry approved. And there's his missing finger. And you guys, I'm sorry, Jim. Yeah, in the words of Maxwell Smart, missed it by that much. And probably Jimmy, not you, Jim. Jimmy will go, oh, that Maxwell Smart impression sucked. Maybe so. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's always low budget all the time. Not to be confused with the Kinks low budget. All right. Everybody, take care. God bless. Rock on. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Remember, in the comments, go off and mention future Jukebox from Hell suggestions. I would love them all. Bye-bye.